We are back. Hopefully today we can provide you a more entertaining experience than what the NASCAR Cup Series did at Bristol. I didn't think it was as bad. I didn't think it was as bad as the majority of people did. It was not the Bristol that I know and love, but I do love Bristol enough where even a bad race at Bristol, I enjoy. I like the experience. I like the atmosphere. Obviously, I don't think it was the on-track action. It wasn't bad. I think it was one of the better. I think it was the best next-gen Bristol night race, actually, in terms of passing out of the three that we've had. People kind of remember the other two fondly. I'm not sure why. It was a similar event, I think. Obviously, it wasn't what they expected. They wanted it to be more like what we saw in the spring. That did not happen. Kyle Larson won big, led, 465 laps, right?
Something like that.
He won bigly.
He won powerfully, strongly, bigly. He won by a lot. What are your thoughts? I know, Wessel, I think you kind of have a strong opinion on the race, so talk to me about what you think.
It just felt like there was no passing. So there's a great Twitter follow that I'll suggest everybody in here. Auto Racing Analytics on Twitter.
Yep.
Amazing. They put out amazing stats and analytics every week for every race. So he put out one stat. He does a lot of median lap data stuff. So over the last 50 laps of the Bristol race, on the median lap data, there was Kyle Larson, who was kind of in a league of his own. We kind of knew that based on the race. And then 2nd through 11th were within 2 to 3 tenths of each other over the course of 50 laps. If you make all the cars the same, there's not going to be passing. And also, among those 2nd to 11th cars was Brad Keselowski, who was stuck in the fucking back all day and couldn't pass anybody.
Yeah.
So you're telling me that he had a top 10 car, but couldn't get out?
Well, he actually was on fresh tires for the last 50 laps compared to the rest of the field. I do believe he pitted with about 60 to go, I think.
That's right, because he took that wave around that last caution.
Yeah, he was on an alternate strategy to the field, so he was in there. But yeah, no, it's tough. Kyle Larson was the only car that was could really differentiate on speed. I saw another stat today. I think it might have been from the same account. I'm not sure. The gap in the 2021 Bristol night race, which was the last one of the Gen 6 car, the median lap speed between, I think, cars 1st and 5th was bigger than the median lap between 1 and 15 Saturday night. So that's a big problem. And I know NASCAR wants parity, and I think in theory that's a good idea, but you can't please everybody. There's got to be cars on the track to pass if you want to make exciting racing. Cars have to be faster, cars have to be slower. If you give everybody the same car, all these drivers are good enough where they're probably going to stay where they qualify and not move too much. You saw
and also doesn't help that they are now forcing teams to all share their data. So now any driver can go look at some other drivers like SMT, figure out what they're doing, and completely replicate it.
Yeah, I don't like that, honestly.
You have the same cars and you have the same drivers.
How do you expect somebody to be different, You have to really have something special, and that's what Kyle Larson and Cliff Daniels had Saturday night. Sally, your thoughts on the race?
I don't know. Because thinking back to it, and then something that really made me think about it was Larson's tweet today. When
he tried to make it about him.
And I mean he was right. You're not guaranteed an absolute banger. Hi, Harris. You're not guaranteed an absolute banger every time you go to the Bristol night race. And you are going to have times where someone stinks up the show, but that's just because of how good they are. But
that's Coach Justin.
Whoa.
Coach Justin.
But I think where a lot of the fan base is angry and so set on not liking this race is because everyone had anticipation of it being like this.
Right. Yeah.
Which I don't know if we'll get into or not, but I think completely it was not the same tire that was brought.
I think it was. I just think conditions were different, and somebody might have pissed in the mix in March or whenever that was. But I don't know. And NASCAR, they were baffled by this. I put out a tweet that got quite a bit of likes today. Actually, a rare Michael Whitman hit tweet. And it was saying, I'm baffled that NASCAR keeps trying to fix a car problem with a tire. They are asking Goodyear to bail them out of a car that does not work fundamentally on this racetrack. And you cannot rely on Goodyear because they mess up more often than they get it right, So, are you typing, Sal? Like what?
That's me. Sorry.
Okay, it's pretty loud. I
was
can't
like,
hear myself
I'm
think.
just putting cheese on my food here.
I thought, yeah, it was like, oh my god.
I'll stop.
But no, yeah, it's I really think that NASCAR is trying to they're trying to make it a tire fix to a car problem, and I think a tire can help. It can create passing, but I think the easiest way to do it would be just fix the car. But obviously, there's so much that goes into that. Team owners don't want to spend the money to go through a next gen 2.0. What are your guys' thoughts on that? Is it could Goodyear fix everything like NASCAR is acting like they could, or not?
I think there's a problem at the base, and the base is the car.
Right. Yeah.
You can only put so many Band-Aids on it before the car is gushing too bad, and you can't put enough Band-Aids on it to heal the problem. Like it's just, I don't want to say start from scratch, but I felt like the car tomorrow, for example, started off really bad. I think it started off really, really, really bad, and they improved upon it through years and made it better. They got rid of the wing. They put a spoiler back on it. They messed with the splitter a little bit.
They like
they messed with the splitter a little bit, messed with the horsepower, and I think it made the car better.
Yeah.
And for some reason, they're just refusing to do anything to this car. They will do anything but change something on the car.
Yeah, and that doesn't seem like they want to, right? They're pretty set on not changing anything. They think that they've got something, and in some instances, I think next gen has helped NASCAR because it's given us some really good moments, really good finishes. But man, it's hurt what the core fans like the most. It's given us some good super speedway endings. Sure, that's true. I think the super speedway races have been hurt considerably with this car. I think short tracks, considerably is an understatement with how much this car has hurt them. When I was younger, I guess, I think Sal and I have had this conversation before. I don't know if it was on this podcast or just in a party or whatever, but you have certain races that you'd like. When I was a kid, I'd look forward to. I'd see that on the ad for next week, and I'd be like, oh yeah, I'm ready to go. And it'd be like Bristol, Martinsville, Daytona, Talladega. When you saw those, you're like, shit, we're gonna have a good race next week. And now you see Martinsville's on the calendar, and you go, this is not going to be good. You see Bristol, and you're like, man, this is not going to be good. The dirt races have been better than the asphalt races. I think the dirt races were better than what we've had on not asphalt, concrete
on the
at
Jeff
Bristol.
Gluck poll. This rated as the lowest next gen Bristol race.
Yeah, that doesn't surprise me. The dirt was not.
That's including the dirt races, by the way.
Yeah, I don't think the dirt races were actually that bad. I always thought it would be better at a traditional dirt track, but I guess Bristol's broken with this car. It seems like so. I didn't hate it. The race. I know I'm kind of talking very negatively, but I didn't hate it. I just like Bristol. I like the feel of it. Bristol night race. It's one of my favorite races, if not my favorite race of the year. So I always get excited, but it's losing its luster like Martinsville is for me too. Like Martinsville, I used to always be so excited for, look forward to. That's one of my favorite races of the year. But the next gen cars kind of ruined that for me, and now I look forward to Kansas. And not that it's a bad thing, but Kansas is a good next gen track, but it's not. I don't know. It doesn't totally measure up to me of what, like, Gen 6 track racing was actually awesome.
Yeah.
There were so many great moments at Martinsville, so many great moments at Bristol. Just tough to see what we got now. Any other thoughts on the car or anything else before we move on to kind of playoff stuff?
What sucks is that we're going to be stuck with this car for a really long time.
Seems like it, right?
Because for them not to be messing with the horsepower, trying to do, what's the last test they did? Just messing around with the diffuser, taking it off, putting
Probably,
it on.
yeah.
I don't know how much money NASCAR owes the vendors or what to be stuck with this for so long, but like you said, they're just trying to pin it on Goodyear. They're
not blaming Goodyear, but they're trying to.
Yeah, they're trying to get them to fix it.
Goodyear they're trying to make them the savior, which that's not how it should be.
There's only so much Goodyear's the tire can do for that car.
Yeah. And I think part of the problem, I think it was NASCAR's direction, and Goodyear said, all right, we'll do it, is it being a wider tire.
Yeah.
Spencer, no. We'll talk about it maybe later. Dale Jr. had a fine night at Bristol. He drank beer after with Velma. Anyway, so the 4 drivers eliminated in the first round of the playoffs are Ty Gibbs, Martin Truex Jr., Brad Keselowski, and Harrison Burton. Any of those come as a surprise to you guys?
I think Brad's
my biggest surprise because Truex was running bad before it, and so was Ty Gibbs.
His average finish over the last 8 races, by the way, is 28.8.
Yeah, what you were saying earlier is what, the second worst?
It's the worst that his an 8 race stretch that he's ever had in his career, except for his first 8 career races where he averaged 30th.
That's pretty tough.
Bad. Yeah, it's literally the second worst 8 race stretch of his career, and it comes in his first year in his last year.
Yeah, that's tough, and I don't think he's been slow though. It's just been he's had a lot of bad luck and mixed into these last few weeks. Sally, who are you surprised about other than Brad? Because I think I had Brad in the round of 8. I think most of us did, honestly.
I think so,
but
yeah.
They really, it seemed like the 17 has been the better RFK car this second half of the year. Yeah. What are your thoughts? Who are you surprised about?
Maybe Ty Gibbs a little. Because I don't know, he's been clicking them off, and he's at least surprised me this year. I think I was the only one at the beginning of the year who had him not making the playoffs. And he proved me wrong. But what I am happy about is Suarez made it, and he makes Wessel up here look like a complete goofball.
I had Suarez advancing.
Did you? I might have the wrong person then. I'm sorry, Wessel. You're not a goofball.
I had him out in the next round. No, I think the 2 people that I didn't have getting eliminated. Actually, I think I only got 1 person right in this round. I think that was Harrison Burton.
I got Burton and Ty Gibbs right. Thank you.
Because I did have Truex too. Because I think my first 4-out prediction was Truex, Burton, Cindric, and I think Bowman was my other one.
Hey man, he's making you eat your words, dude.
Bowman had a good round.
He had a really good round, actually.
He had a really good round. Was he the second or third top point scorer in the round?
Yeah, he locked himself in during that race early on. Good for him. He needs that. So we'll preview the next round. Let's talk about the driver swap, Haley for LaJoy. Everybody kind of saw that coming. There could be some Hendrick ties to Haley's deal. Are you worried if you're Alex Bowman right now? I think if Bowman performs at the level he is right now and, he makes the playoffs, and he's not going to get dropped.
No.
Um,
But I think
Would
if he
you-
has a bad year next year,
it opens the door for Haley to come
I think
in.
with the stuff that Brad was talking about, Keselowski.
Yeah.
I
Sounds a
think
little
it could-
jealous, old Brad.
Yeah.
I mean, Brad's been through this though. Like, don't
Yeah.
forget, he had a contract with Hendrick, and they
Yeah.
kind of shelved him for a 50-year-old Mark Martin. I mean,
Well,
granted,
after
was
Mark
still cooking, like that kind
after
of
Mark
revived his
Martin's
career.
09 season, I kind of get it because he was really good that year. And almost won a championship and won about as many races as he did after the turn of the century. So, yeah, it's an interesting thing. I think it's kind of funny that Corey LaJoie got announced that he's out, and he's actually had probably his best 4 or 5 race stretch in that 7 car. He didn't have the result. Yeah, he didn't have the result that he wanted at Bristol, but he was running, I think, 11th when he wrecked. So I as much as I hate the guy and I don't wish him very well, he's actually been doing very good lately, and maybe he could work something out in that 51. Now, the interesting part about the swap, regardless of what S'mores will tell us in Discord about it when he breaks the news, Haley is locked in there for next year, but Corey LaJoie is not. He is kind of a trial, like one of those free trials that you get, but you have to put the money in.
7-race free trial.
You have to put your credit card information
Instead
in.
of a 7-day free trial, he's getting a 7-race free trial.
Yeah.
For 2 months,
think
you can try this guy out for free.
Yeah, you can stack pennies. Now I think it's the only option for him to stay in Cup, right? So I understand why he does
he's
it.
not going to get anything else.
Hey, what's this guy's problem? This guy's always shitting on me for no reason. He's obsessed with me. He's jealous. He knows he doesn't like the success that I have. Hey, listen. You know what? I'm not even gonna let it get to me anymore. All right, I'm wearing a yellow shirt, and I'm happy. All right, yellow is the color of the sun and happiness. All right.
Your favorite baseball team, the Red Sox.
Oh, right, those like banana boat uniforms, those stupid ass shits. Rip the Space City jerseys. I don't like anything about the Astros, but those are pretty cool. So rip Space City. Any thoughts on this driver swap? I think Spire is actually looking really strong lately. So Justin Haley, we'll see what he can do these next few weeks.
Not just lately.
I
think their whole team for next year could be like, especially depending on how much backing Hendrick is going to be giving the 7 car. I think that could be like a sneaky heading into race 26, could sneak into the playoffs, at least one of them.
I think you could see more than one of them.
I'm not
Carson's also been really good lately.
Hocevar in his rookie year is about 20th in points, and he's done a really good job. Haley's been fantastic, and that 7 car is running really well lately. Plus, you add Rodney Childers to the fold for next year. That's a huge deal. And you get Michael McDowell in the 71 car, bringing his crew chief over from front row, Travis Peterson. They could easily win a road course or a super speedway at any point during the year.
Yeah.
I would not be surprised at all if we see more than one Spire car in the playoffs next year.
I think if the Spire car makes the playoffs, I think it's on the win. I don't think they're quite to the point of pointing their way in yet.
Yeah. Haley could, I think, honestly.
But it'll be close. I think there will probably be like I'm going to guess like one Spire car is probably going to be in the bubble talk next year. And that's probably all I see out of them, unless, somebody wins their way in.
Yeah, I think that we see more next year. I don't know. It's tough. Some big team is going to lose out on a couple playoff spots next year because I think, I don't see Ross Chastain missing the playoffs again.
No.
I think him and that team are good enough to win a race in the regular season next year. I think SVG wins a road course. You got AJ Allmendinger back in the Cup Series. He could easily win a road course.
Suarez is good on road courses. I don't know what he's figured out at Atlanta. But
he's really good. He loves that place.
He's incredible at Atlanta, and I don't know why or how, but
yeah,
because I feel like it takes the 2 disciplines that he's worst at, which is super speedways and intermediate tracks, and put it together. And all of a sudden, he's like good at it. I don't know.
Yeah. And another thing, I think that we see. I know it's obviously. I don't know why we're talking about this now, but it's just part of the Spire conversation. I think we see some really big name drivers miss the playoffs next year. Like shocking drivers missing the playoffs. Just straight up because they didn't win or
I think the field is going to be really strong next year.
It is. It's really strong right
year
now.
Than it is this year. Yeah.
On the whole
I'm concerned about Claude Elliott.
On the whole Spire thing, so does the backing from Hendrick start as of this week as well?
I don't know.
Or would that be till next year?
I'm not sure. DBC floated out a rumor that their Spire could become a Tier 1 Chevy team. And
then who's getting demoted?
I know who I'd like to get demoted.
Colleague's not a Tier 1 team, are they?
RCR.
Oh, yeah.
Kill him.
Well, see,
Kill
the
that
thing
old
that's
fuck.
tough there is that Richard Childress has a really strong alliance with Chevrolet, and he always has.
Yeah.
So I don't really see it.
Trackhouse? I don't know. But
I don't think Trackhouse is losing Tier 1 sponsorship.
No, maybe they'd have a fourth Tier 1 team. I don't know.
Maybe. Just put more money in the NASCAR.
All right. Let's preview the next round. It's kind of another wild round. You don't really know what we're gonna get with probably the wildest road course in the in the
new
series.
Format too, refiguration.
A new layout, yeah. All right, let's pull up the standings here. I'm putting everybody on the spot right here, right now. These are the 8 drivers above the cut line. These are the 4 below it. Now, fellas, who's in and who is out? I will go first. I think out will be Daniel Suarez, Joey Logano. Daniel Suarez, Joey Logano, Austin Cindric, Chase Briscoe.
Honestly, that's the same 4 that I have, I think.
Logano, Cindric, Suarez, Briscoe.
Yeah. Like the 4 that's out now, swap Bowman and Logano, and I think that's probably it.
Sally?
Cindric, Bowman, Briscoe, and Logano.
Suarez sneaks through. Now, who in this, we all have Logano out, so I'm going to say who in this top 7 here? Because I think we all agreed on these 7 drivers to make it to the round of 8. I think everybody had these 7 that are 1 through 7 here in the round of 8. Which driver could you see getting surprise bounce out of these 7 guys?
It sucks, but I'm going to say Blaney, but also maybe Hamlin.
What tracks are they this round?
Kansas, Talladega, and the Roval.
Hamlin's really good at Kansas. I can't really knock him there.
I don't know.
Byron, I'm going to say.
I think those 3, 4, 5, and 6 are really tough. I would say probably Blaney is most likely. And then Hamlin and Byron are pretty close, I think.
What about Chase? What do you think about him? You're the unbiased one out of us.
I don't really see Chase. I think that's a low chance that he gets bounced.
He's just really good at getting the amount of points that he needs. I know it's a weird thing to say, but he is always just gets the points that he needs. And Kansas is a good track for him. And honestly, I think he's actually one of the better super speedway next gen drivers.
So what tracks we got again? We got Kansas, Talladega, Roval.
Yep. Yep. It's going to be interesting for sure.
I'm going to say Blaney. No, Blaney. Hamlin. I'm going to say Hamlin.
Yeah.
Hamlin's really good at Kansas, though. I don't know.
Yeah, that's the problem is that he's really good at Kansas. But he's got the wrong strategy for these super speedways, and he lays in the back the entire race.
Yeah.
That's what I think my reasoning will be, because I mean he barely scraped by pulling that strategy in Atlanta, and I mean sure it worked because he knows how good he is at Bristol, but I just don't think you can do that twice, especially whenever the field is getting compressed to 8, and these are the best 8 in the sport that are going to advance.
And I think that Kansas is the biggest race of this round.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you
It's the
perform
most
well at
predictable race of
Kansas,
this round, I think.
it is, and that's why you need to take advantage of it. Because
Mhm.
you do not know what your fate is going to be at Talladega or Charlotte Roval. So you have to perform well at Kansas if I'm one of these guys. If I'm Chase Elliott, if I'm Ryan Blaney, if I'm Joey Logano, William Byron, I need to have a good day at Kansas where I score points in both stages and get a top 8 finish. I need that because you can't guarantee what you're going to get at Talladega. You could be leading a line 1 second and then out of the race the next second, coming to the stage caution and getting 0 points out of it. So it's just it's tough this round. I wish we had this round was good when it was just this round, but the first round being crazy too, and then this round being crazy, it's a lot.
Yeah,
Might be a little too much for me. I mean, it's good. You're going to be on the edge of your seat for sure. As us all being fans of drivers that are currently above the line, but aren't comfortable by any means. It's a very nervous round for Chase Elliott, for Ryan Blaney, for Joey Logano, for William Byron fans, I think. Any other thoughts on the 3 races that we've got here in the round of 12? You guys agree Kansas is the most important race? Like I think that's you have to take advantage of that for sure. Dale Jr. ran. Spencer wants to talk about it, so we can. He finished 7th. He had a lot of problems. He had to change helmets. I mean, there was a lot going on in that. They were not prepared for old.
Flipped off Riley Herbst.
He did do that. Then he offered him a beer after. That's pretty Dale. I mean, he's the guy. What's going on with Riley Herbst? Well, is he still going 2311? What's the word on that?
That's
I don't know, because I think the Ryan Priest to RFK is kind of set, right? Like I know the rumors on him kind of died, but it's pretty.
I think they're renting a charter from Rick Ware.
Oh, okay. So Rick Ware has 2, right?
Yeah.
So they're probably just going to run the 15 or the 51 next year, and then the 15 is going to get rented out.
The 15 is going to get rented out, but they're still going to run the 15. They're just going to make
it's going to be uncharted.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah. I mean, I'd rather have a 3rd RFK car than a 2nd Rick Ware car in the field, Yeah. Especially if a nice, true, hardcore racer like Ryan Priest can be in it, who still is in the Sal Zavala 889 Best of the Rest competition.
So on the
Instagram.
The SHR charters, one has gone to Trackhouse. We know that one already.
That's right.
One has gone to
Front Row.
We know that one already. And then there's the 3rd one that doesn't.
That's supposedly going to 2311.
Yeah. But the way Denny's been talking, he doesn't like how the charter deal has went. He doesn't like the agreement. They still haven't signed it, by the way. I don't think Front Row or 2311 have still haven't signed it.
I believe neither of them have. Yeah.
So it's like, do you really want to buy another charter when there's an agreement in place that you don't like and haven't signed yet?
Well, if they don't sign the deal, they might not be running with charters next year. They might be running without them. So you could see open cars from 2311 and Front Row. I mean, it's a wild situation, and NASCAR could cut down the number of charters because of this. I don't know. I think they end up agreeing to the deal, but it's a really odd thing because, it seemed like the teams were like, well, we can't get anything better than this, so we're just going to take it.
I think it was Gordon who said that he was just tired of going back and forth, so that's why he signed it.
Yeah, because they knew that NASCAR wasn't going to budge, so they had to, the only way they could have made a change is if they all, declined the agreement. Then we could have gotten into an ugly circumstance, but it's strength in numbers because it only took a couple of teams being like, all right, we're done. We're going to sign this. For maybe a Hendrick to be like, yeah, I guess we got to just roll with it. We don't exactly get what we want. Well, we like some of the things here. We have to take what we can get. But 23-11, yeah, 23-11 in front row.
Trackhouse.
They are not interested in the
RFK.
deal. All right. Do you guys want to do picks? Sure.
My pick had a speeding penalty and was stuck in the back for the rest of the race and then got eliminated.
All right. Well, Tegan already put in his pick here, so
That's cheating.
well, he picks first.
Oh, good job, Tegan.
Yeah, he's picking Denny Hamlin. He finished last with Josh Berry. Kev Ryan picks up the win with Denny Hamlin. So Denny Hamlin was the winner, and now he's the first guy off the board. JB with a nice second place finish in this competition. And then I got third. I'm just getting these one pointers off. Need a couple big ones here if we want to get back in it.
I need literally 2 race winners to just tie first place right now.
Yeah, I'm
so far behind.
I need quite a bit.
I got to swing early. No,
yeah,
normally you would try to save your champion for the last race or anything like that. Is it my pick?
Yeah, you're up.
Larson. I got to swing. I have to. I'm too far behind.
Kyle Larson off the board. I'm disappointed about that. Sally, who do you want?
Okay. Yeah. Damn. No. Look at me. Oh my God. Why is it so hard? Briscoe.
Chase Briscoe. Okay. Waiting on Bradley to text me back here. While we're waiting on him to text me back, hopefully he does. I'm kind of at a rock and a hard place for my pick here because my top 2 picks were Denny Hamlin and Kyle Larson. And I can't have those 2 guys. I'm going to pick a playoff driver. I feel like I have to pick a playoff driver. I don't know. Do I want to pick Chase? Bell. Yeah. This is tough, man. I think I'm going to save some of these guys. Alex Bowman. I'm picking Alex Bowman. Bradley hasn't sent me his pick yet, so. JB hasn't sent me anything, so Ryan will pick here. Larson, Briscoe, Bowman, Hamlin. Who is Ryan going to pick? Who do you guys think he picks, fellas?
Carson Hocevar.
I don't think he does that. Oh, he's picking Clyde Elliott. I'll just put him with Clyde Elliott here.
Did he say give me Clyde?
He did say give me Clyde. Clyde Elliott the second. I like how that looks right there. Clyde Elliott 2, baby. Yeah, I think these are pretty strong picks. It's always a good track for Bowman, so I'm happy. Obviously, Denny and Larson, they can win this one whenever they want, it seems like.
Or wreck each other battling.
Surprised Tyler Reddick wasn't picked here, but maybe Bradley or JB will pick him. Who knows? If they give me their picks, I will. share them with the class before we get out of here. Sally, you were in the booth for our big Hundo P race at Iowa, the 250th in the CFRL's wonderful, illustrious history. Talk me through what happened there. Ryan got angry. Tegan won on fuel mileage. I was sad.
Yeah, I bet you were.
It was very sad, yeah.
It was entertaining, especially seeing the strategies play out there towards the end. I think I kind of told Kylo, I'm like, if there's a way to try and get some kind of strategy out of here, Tegan's gonna find a way. And sure enough, he did. I'm really sad I missed the part where Ryan got mad.
Figure it out! He was real jocked up there. He was fired up, man.
Hey, it's entertaining as hell to watch y'all. So,
Love you, Sally. Thank you for helping out in the booth. Hopefully, we see you up there. What's your plan? Are you going back up there again this year?
The booth?
Yeah.
Probably, yeah.
I think we got 2 races left, so.
I think this weekend I won't be able to. I'm gonna be out of town.
Okay. But then you're back for Miami, baby, championship, Sally.
I'll be there for the championship.
Put a little bathing suit on down there. Can you please, Tegan, will get distracted, and then I'll have a chance to win. Yeah, but we got a tight points battle. I'm gonna pull up the league situation so I can kind of talk everybody through what we've got going on heading into Atlanta this week, which could be an absolutely wild race. All right, let's see here. This is what we're looking at right now. Tegan Jones and Michael Lemon have advanced. That was with my win at Kentucky and his at Iowa. Bradley's 34 up, so if he starts Atlanta, I believe he will lock himself in. Mindkiller only 8 points above Ryan. Kamal's 15 out. Wessel, do you think that these two have to win, or do you think one or both of them can point their way in?
Kamal's definitely in a must win. Ryan, he's gonna have to be up front like the entire race and hope that I think Fox has a problem. It is the only thing that I think Ryan's gonna have.
Sally, what are your thoughts?
Like, he has to finish 4 spots above him in the stage and the race.
And then, he needs to actually. I think if Ryan doesn't finish second, then he needs to. Because Mindkiller has a second place finish in this round, so that would be the tiebreaker. So Ryan's safest option would be to be 1 point ahead of him, so they don't have to go to the tiebreaker.
Yeah.
So yeah. Sally, what are your thoughts here?
I think Kamal's a must win. And with Ryan, if more than 10 people show up, there's a slight chance he can make it. But like Wessel said, Fox would need to have some kind of like drastic problem there in that first stage.
Yeah, to open the door for Ryan.
Yeah, but
like, he's gonna need to not get points in the stage somehow.
Well, but imagine Ryan finishes third, Mindkiller finishes 8th, and he only needs 4 more points. It's possible. I think.
I would honestly put Ryan more under the need a win category, because that's going to be the safest way you would have.
Yes.
So
let's look at the results from Atlanta earlier in the year. It's a lot of information to process here, but I'll use my little mouse key here. Ryan finished 7th and 4th in the stage and the race, respectively, earlier on this season, while Mindkiller finished 10th and 16th. obviously that would be good enough for Ryan to make the championship for. I don't know if Mind Killer lagged out or what, but 10th on the stage, that's not good. And Ryan finished 7th. That would be 3 or 4 points on him, which would be helpful for sure. So it could be tight going into that race. Before we get out of here, because we don't really have much else to talk about, I want your guys' predictions on who that 4th driver in our CFRL Final Four at Miami is.
I'm going to say it's probably Line Killer. I feel like I think it's going to be too steep of a hill for Ryan to climb. No, it's going to take Mind Killer making a mistake, and doesn't do that too often. Sometimes he has bad strategy, but on a track like Atlanta, it's pretty straightforward. Obviously, tires wear a lot there, but I think it all just kind of comes down to not speeding on pit road. And this is a tough pit road to enter. Like when you're in a pack with people, it there can be issues.
That was hard. We had repeated cautions earlier this year trying to enter pit road.
I mean, there was times where me and you were pitting and everybody was wrecking behind us. Like when me and you were like first and second entering pit road.
Yeah.
Everybody would like wreck behind us.
Fielder track, yeah.
And it's tough. It's probably our hardest pit road, I think.
Yeah, especially with how close we run. I think by yourself, it's not a hard pit road to get into.
No,
but with everybody wanting to pit at the same time, it is definitely tough. Sally, what do you think? You think Mind Killer's in, or are you going off the wall picking somebody else?
I think Ryan Parsons.
Oh,
win.
Yeah. For the sake of the program here, I'm picking Kamal. This guy is clutch. He's got clutch in his veins, baby. Kamal Wright always performs when he needs to. And I think he's going to do that Sunday. I think he's going to go out, win Atlanta, and he's going to make himself a Final Four driver for the first time since 2020. That's my pick. All three of us have different picks. So we'll see how it plays out. Kylo will be in the booth. I don't know with who yet. We'll figure that out. I'll figure it out later in the week. Maybe Harris. I don't know if he wants to race. Harris, you should be in the booth Sunday, please. We will enjoy that. Anything we want to talk about before we get out of here, though, guys? Wessels wants to go get hibachi, so I'm going to let him go. And we'll end it here. Anything else you want to cover before we get out of here?
No, I don't have anything.
Okay. Sal's feverishly shaking his head. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. We will be back next week after Kansas, hopefully, if people are available to do this with me. So that'd be lovely.
Been closing all week for the last couple of weeks.
I know, it sucks. Sally's been busy. He's studious and a hard-working man.
It's not working, Sal.
I know. I'm so sad it used to.
Thank you for watching, everybody. We will see you next week. Thanks, everybody.